What's going on, you guys? This is Tech HD coming at you with a brand new video, and that beginning part was actually shot with one lens. Today we're going to be taking a look at a budget Cine lens. This is a 20mm T2 lens for the Panasonic Lumix S series from the company VILTROX, and I gotta say, for the price, I didn't expect much from it, but I was definitely wrong. Let's take a look at it. So first, taking a look at what comes in the box, you get the soft carry pouch, some documentations, the filter adapter ring, the lens itself with the lens cap attached. You also have the Lotus lens hood attached and the rear lens cap. Now, taking a look at the specs of the lens, it is a full frame prime lens that uses an L mount, so it's great for the Panasonic Lumix S series, like for example the S1H. It's a 20mm focal length with a T2.0 aperture. The build quality of this lens is actually very nice for the price. Weighing around 1.7 pounds, it weighs more than the Lumix S Pro 24-70 f2.8 lens, that one weighing around 1.2 pounds. It has an all-metal build and is even water resistant. The focus and aperture ring are also very smooth, so when you want to do some defocusing, the transition won't get stuck. They both also have some gear rings, so you are able to add a follow focus to minimize the amount of focus bleeding. Like for example, I'm using the Live Air 2 follow focus from PD Movie and it works great. The lens has 14 blades and 12 elements in 9 groups. It can go from a T2 all the way to a T16 aperture. It also uses an 82mm filter size, and you will need to use the rounded lens hood to attach a filter because of the lens glass being so curved. Also, in order to attach the lens cap, you need to use the Lotus lens hood because it clicks on, locking it in place, so you can't cover the lens with the rounded lens hood attached. Now, of course, for a Cine lens, this is not going to have any autofocus, but the focus ring is smooth and precise, and you can enable focus peaking on most cameras to make sure that the subject is the one in focus. This also doesn't have any stabilization, but you can use the built-in stabilization on the body, like for example on the S1H, and it works pretty well. I just needed to let my camera know which focal length I am using, and it will set the stabilization for that, and it works just like my S Pro 24-70mm lens, since that one doesn't have any stabilization as well. Now, using this lens on a full frame camera like on the S1H, it's a 20mm and has a field of view of 90 degrees. When I set it to Super 35, it crops in at around 35mm and has a field of view of around 75 degrees, which is nice if you want to punch in a bit more. Using it at T2 aperture, you can see the bokeh it creates, like for example on these Christmas lights. However, I expected a bit more bokeh, but it still looks good and lets in a good amount of light for low light videography. Depending on what you're focusing on, there will be some soft edges, but that is to be expected at a low aperture. Now, my overall thoughts of this lens honestly surprised me. VILTROX is somewhat of an unknown brand, nothing like a Sigma or Tamron or even a Rokinon, but this lens is really nice for the price. I love the build quality of this lens, and the weight and having it being water resistant screams quality. Even the two lens hoods are made of metal. I also love that the focus ring and the aperture ring is so smooth, and they have the gear rings already built into it, so you can have a follow focus on it and it's perfect. Now, having this lens go down to a T2 aperture is great for low light videography and even some photography. In my testing, it lets in a lot of light and it does get a bokeh, but not as much as other lenses at similar apertures, unfortunately. Comparing it to the 50mm 1.8Z lens on my Nikon Z6 at a 2.0 aperture and my 24-70 f2.8 aperture on my S1H, you can see that those lenses actually do a little bit better when it comes to bokeh than the VILTROX 20mm T2 lens. But on the bright side, the lens is still pretty sharp, and I used this lens in a couple of my shots in my previous videos and they turned out really well, and the wide angle was great for getting more in the shot. Overall, I really like this lens, and having it only cost $500 for a Cine lens is really not that bad, and I would love for VILTROX to come out with a 35mm and even a 50mm with a T2 aperture or even lower. But there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, as well as links to everything will be down in the description as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so that you guys can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. As always, Tech HD. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!